I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You sure you don't want to resign January 6th? Yeah, it gotta be on the nose. You go to the 6th. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Street Politics. There I was, minding my own business, looking at Zohran Mamdani memes. That one was pretty good. When I see this, I'm gonna miss Marjorie Taylor Greene. What? No. And apparently she even changed her religion. She's just repping straight Islamophobia in her political profile now. Hey Trump, what you say to Marjorie? She said what?
Hi everyone. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C. and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher, corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts.
Now wait a minute, Marjorie. I'm not mad at anything that you're saying right now, despite the fact that you had a pretty firm hand and all of that. What model home are you in right now? Oh, you just stopped at an open house? You just in the middle of the open house? Okay, all right, cool. I think it's some prospective buyers behind you that's mad, but I'm gonna let you cook.
I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I've fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars.
Okay, so just so we're clear, you just throwing out all the lowlights? Is that what you just, let's just establish off the top. I've been trash since I've been here. Yeah, I've been participating in all the stuff I've been talking about, and then I voted to accelerate the wealth inequality that I'm now complaining about. I've been trash. Is this like a confessional or something like this? Like where we going with this? She about to break up with Brian Glenn?
However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives.
Okay, well, I mean, if we want some courage, we could start with explaining why the shutdown lasted as long as it did. We want to be honest. We want to be real honest about that. Your voting record?
My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas just sit. They all sit collecting dust.
Now, when exactly did you do the English official language? When did you do that? It was right after Bad Bunny was named the performer for the Super Bowl and was trolling the administration. You decided to go all in on xenophobia. That was you? That was you? I think they needed to sit, Marjorie.
I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans.
And I've looked side-eye at that district all 5 years. I look side-eye at all of y'all. You know, the way I hold the whole state of Ohio accountable for J.D. Vance, that's Georgia. If it wasn't for South Carolina and Louisiana representatives being so trash, y'all lucky. Y'all lucky.
I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard-left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt USAID, and I did that as chair of the DOJ subcommittee.
Okay, so we're going to add PBS, NPR, and the carnage that ensued after they defunded USAID to your accomplishments. This is almost like you be in a job interview and they ask you what's your biggest weakness and you just filibuster for 30 minutes. Let me tell you how trash I am.
I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back.
Hey, Trump, she back to calling you a bum. She back to calling you a bum. And it's at this time I have to just really feel for, you know, people always be, I miss all this time with my family. Meanwhile, their family be like, is there any more of that work you can do? Good luck.
Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election.
Okay, that was a bit of fire right there. That was a bit of fire right there, because y'all almost forget that the entire Republican establishment tried to collude back in 2015, 16 to prevent him from getting the nomination. That includes the media arm of the Republican Party. Not to mention the fact they dropped my man so fast after January 6th, he was banned from Fox News. Y'all forget. Y'all forget. Now I see why Trump be dragging him. Now I see why he treats y'all the way he do. Now I get it. Stop crying, Lisa Murkowski. Nobody cares.
Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative. America first should mean America first and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government.
And it's also important to establish what you mean by America first. You are coming right at who you guys call the Israel First caucus on the right wing. We have also seen the America First approach to Hindus with Vivek Ramaswamy and Kash Patel, as well as Muslims in Michigan. And Lord knows I've heard enough DEI to know how you feel about us. So let's be clear about America first.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, did I forget the Latinos? Well, I certainly didn't. She didn't feel the need to address y'all here, but I will. Y'all know what America First is. What she said? English only?
Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for.
Hey, Trump, she bringing up your weird cases again. Yes, she is. Now we all listening.
However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged, because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God, who created everything in existence.
You tell him, girl, you don't need no man. I don't need no man. I do it all by myself. You tell him, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Man, I can't believe she recorded all this just to break up with Brian Glenn. That's embarrassing.
I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility.
Hey, Virginia Fox. Hey, wake her up. Virginia Fox, I'm talking. Put her hearing aid in. Never mind. I'll send her an email. It's like a letter on the computer. I sent it to you.
My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of non-stop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day.
Now let's be clear. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been hated by the left for years and never feared for her life. She's been hated by the right for 2 days and had to hire security. Oh, that's right, MTG. We not going both sides. We not going both sides this, because we saw exactly how you needed to move after Trump turned. Put a pin in that.
It has been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family, but it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious.
Now, wait a minute. So you saying you don't want to endure the primary that you said that you would win? You would be. So she called you a bum. That's like the third time she called you a bum. I'm just saying. She said you going to dump all this money in and go on this virtual tour and lose. And honestly, and looking at how things been going this year, I got to side with Marjorie on that one. But and looking at that district that brought her in, yeah, I'm siding with her on that one. Now, you saying that you would win the primary while Trump dumps all this money, but then you don't want to have to stick around to defend him against impeachment because you fear you will lose the midterms. But why would you feel like you have to do that? You didn't feel like you needed to toe the party line when it came to Epstein. You've been breaking with him quite a bit. Why would that be? That doesn't make any sense. Not surprising from you, but I'm just saying.
I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better.
Yeah, she said battered wife. That's what she said, battered wife. I knew you had some weird cases, but I didn't. That's a new one there, huh? No, we'll look into it. We'll look into it. Don't worry about that.
If I am cast aside by the president and the Maga political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. There is no plan to save the world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You sure you don't want to resign January 6th? Yeah, I gotta be on the nose. You go to the 6th. Yeah, I'm not. I don't pretend to know exactly what's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation, but I sure as know we're not getting the full story. None of this makes sense. Well, you know what I do when Marjorie Taylor Greene's moves don't make any sense? I ask AOC, because she's the one that had the tea about the whole Senate situation. And she came through again. She's carefully timing her departure just 1 to 2 days after her pension kicks in and after making millions of dollars insider trading stocks for weapons manufacturers and others while in office. She is saying a lot, but her actions have not backed up the rhetoric. For all her talk, she's still voting with them to gut health care and advance self-dealing corruption schemes. 1 to 2 days after your pension kicks in. 1 to 2 days after your pension kicks in. Now all of a sudden that whole thing about him dumping all this money into your primary and you don't want to deal with it even though you think you would win makes a whole lot of sense. Because why waste the money, right? Why waste the money? Whew. And by the way, that was a take which was retweeted by Jasmine Crockett, but she went further. I'm going to be honest, I didn't see this coming, but the threats that come with being on the opposite side of Trump are real. People need to wake up. Trump only knows how to use people up and then cast them aside when he's done. He did it to his VP. He's done it to those that wanted the Epstein files. He did it to those that believed he cared about their struggles. And now he's doing it to one of his most loyal followers, MTG. Going forward, no one, elected or otherwise, should allow any person to coax them into creating a culture of violence. MTG reference not wanting to be a battered woman. I'll say this, my granny used to say, don't play with fire because you just may get burned. I'm still waiting for Republicans to stand firmly against the president's death wishes on sitting members of the House and Senate. My final word on this is that my office reached out to MTGs to work on some member safety legislation. I'm serious about working collaboratively on this effort. If there is an interest, we can get it drafted before January. And yes, Jasmine Crockett did go in on Trump's threats on sitting members of Congress. So it looks like there isn't a whole lot of sympathy on the other side of the aisle. But, you know, I feel like the people, Marjorie, might be a little bit more respectful.
Frump into the mud up has ran must into the must pop Marjorie, aka Marjorie Taylor Greene, aka Marjorie Taylor Brown, aka bad built bleach blonde butch body out of Congress. Y'all, I'm not kidding. She has resigned. Her last day gonna be January 5th of 2026. She's worried about being primary. She says she is not gonna let Frump it up pour millions of dollars into her opponent and she gets primaried, especially since the Republicans are going to lose the primaries and she's going to have to spend all of her time defending Frump and Dump against an impeachment. Yo, was it? Wow, I'm going to keep it a stack. I wasn't expecting Musty to the Must Pie Marjorie to quit. I know she was pissed.
Did you say Musty Marjorie? Musty Marjorie? You gonna call her Musty on the way out? Like when she leaves with her thing, she gonna leave a scent throughout the whole office. We gonna have to spray behind.
I wasn't expecting Musty to the Must Pie Marjorie to quit. I know she was pissed when they wouldn't support her for her Senate run, but I was not expecting for her to quit. Maga is losing bigly for Musty Marjorie to just give it up, to give all of it up. I don't know what her plans are, but baby, it's something going on. There's a shift happening. They're understanding and they're seeing that the policies are not working and that the American people are hurting. And this is bad. But y'all, I want to know what y'all think. Please put it in the comments. Was y'all expecting this? It definitely wasn't on my bingo card.
Okay, so maybe I miscalculated. Maybe I miscalculated the feelings there on the ground. But one thing I will say this though, MAGA, is as wrong-headed as so many of her convictions were, she was consistent. She did stand on business. She did look. There's a reason we call the man Taco. Okay, there's a reason why you guys have to completely change your worldview every 3 to 4 months. Everybody doesn't rock like that.
What have you Republicans done? You guys got Marjorie Taylor Greene to resign from Congress because you guys have your head so far up your ass. You don't even remember what the you stand for as a movement. As much as I think this Looney Tune crazy bin over here came up with some ass shit, said some out of pocket thing. She literally stood on the very thing that she ran for. She always remained America first. She literally was everything MAGA was. The fact that she wanted to put away got her called a traitor. She's right. The debt keeps going higher. Never in it for the American people. They don't understand that they are representative. She still believes in term limits. They never took any of the bills she put up seriously. And at the end of the day, she got criticized for representing her own district and the American people. And I think this is a prime example right here. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning in January of 2026 is a prime example. The Republicans' failure, especially in the House of Representatives.
And hey, MAGAs, if Marjorie Taylor Greene can abandon Trump's cult of personality, then you can do it too. That's right. Somehow through all of this, MAGA, you just come out looking worse. You just come out looking worse. Now, one interesting thing that she said, because she talked about winning the primary and then having to stand up to an impeachment for Trump, because she felt like they would lose the midterms, completely brushing past the notion of an elected official acting on conviction and abiding by the oath of office that they all take. We take it for granted just how much the MAGA caucus completely poo-poos the idea of their oath to the American people and choosing the country over party. But I've never heard it articulated like this.
Breaking news, Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning from Congress. I'm so sorry. I don't care what your opinion is of her. This is a cowardly move, in my opinion. There has to be something else going on. You're in the position. You're in a place where you're on the inside. You could effectuate change. You could influence others, influence the law. Your opinion changed relative to your Lord and Savior, Cheeto Christ, and he doesn't like you anymore. And so you're resigning? Did you join Congress to serve a Cheeto, or did you join Congress to serve the people?
I'm sorry. Did you say Cheeto? A Cheeto? No, because Cheetos be kind of skinny though. I would go with a whole cheese puff. I think cheese puff in this scenario.
This bothers me. I don't give a shit about her, but it bothers me because all this is going to do is create a vacuum where someone much worse will take her place. So either she's a fucking coward, fake as fuck, can't withstand a little bit of criticism from someone she likes. She could withstand criticism from like an entire population of people, but she can't take the criticism now just because her ideologies are no longer aligning with his. It's either that or she's gotten a better offer. But I don't think it's that. Just based on how broken she's seemed lately. I could be wrong. I don't like it. This stinks. She says she's always been despised in Washington, D.C. and just never fit in. And that used to be her calling card. That used to be her reason to live, that she didn't fit in. Her resignation follows a public fallout with Trump in recent months as the Congresswoman criticized him for his stance on files related to Epstein, along with foreign policy and healthcare. Trump branded her a traitor and wacky and said he would endorse a challenger against her when she ran for re-election next year. But as far as I know, she didn't have a challenger. So she just made it easy? Say what you will about her, but she was at least brave enough to break with some of the lunacy. And it seemed like she was one of the few who actually was championing the victims. What a fucking letdown for the people who trusted her. I don't buy for one second that she just like can't take being a outcast anymore. It's too hard. She fucking loved it. She loved it. You guys remember? She was loud. She was abrasive. She fed off of people not approving of the way she presented herself, the way that she articulated herself. She's been a broken woman. Tell me you haven't noticed that. I find this to be highly suspicious, but mostly I find it cowardly. Her vision is not aligned with that of her party, but she's already in the door. Most people whose vision does not align with their party don't even get within sight of the door. She is in a place where she can do something and she's squandering it because she's weak. It's pathetic. I think it's pathetic. Even if she got a better offer, you don't go from making this whole thing your personality and then crumbling under a little bit of criticism.
Now that is a great point. She didn't care what people thought when she threw out Jewish space lasers. She didn't care what people thought when she was yelling out in Congress. She didn't care what people thought when she was following survivors around Capitol Hill, kids at the time. She didn't care what people thought when she was throwing out DEI and mocking the way people look on the other side of the aisle. But now she cares. It's interesting timing there. Now, that's not to say that everybody was surprised by this.
2025 have been a year of surprises. This breaking news here just came out of nowhere and I was kind of shocked, but then again, not too surprised. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, aka the Maga Barbie, has announced that she's resigning in January, just in time for the midterms.
I'm sorry, did you say MAGA Barbie? Barbie? No, because when I was a kid, my sister had Barbies. I played with He-Man action figures. That might be more appropriate. That's all I'm saying.
Y'all already know I don't give a flying if she resigned or stayed, survived her primary, because she probably would have survived her primary, but I could care less because this woman has been atrocious since she stepped foot on the Capitol. When she was elected, stepped foot in the Capitol, got sworn in, been nothing but a pain in the fucking ass to the American people. I mean, y'all see some of her behavior.
Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see it.
You know we're here about
just
AG.
I don't
Point
think
of-
you
point of
know what
order.
you're here
President.
for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I
you still
think your
stuck in the
fake
courtroom.
eyelashes are messing up
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on. And I would ask Ms. Greene if she would just make the apology. It's not that complicated. We don't want to get into face-to-face insults.
You will never get an apology out of me.
Are you sure we'll never get an apology, Marjorie? Huh? Are you sure about that?
Humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country.
Just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
It's atrocious. It's disgusting. And now all of a sudden, when the government shut down and her children were complaining about their health care, let's be real. She only cared about the Affordable Health Care Act, because that's what it's called, not Obamacare, is because her kids benefit from the subsidies. So I guess the Affordable Care Act is not a bad thing at all. Right, Marjorie? But then again, you're still hateful. Your video was hateful. It was not meaningful. It was just fake as hell. So therefore, you can take your ass somewhere. January's coming soon, because after Thanksgiving, Christmas is going to breeze by, and then New Year, and then January 5th, you're out the door. So goodbye, good luck, kiss it where the sunshine, don't miss it, be with your family, and stay out of our TV screens, because we are tired of looking at your face and just tired of you.
Now, ultimately, the question will be asked, what exactly happened? What was it that pushed Marjorie Taylor Greene over the edge? Is she just taking her money and running? Or could it be that she learned some truths that she can't convey? Because keep in mind, her line when she was pushing for Epstein was always that it would exonerate Trump. Remember, I said in that video, I said, somehow, even in this moment in her breaking from Trump, she still believes in him, at least according to what she said. Did you get an early brief? Is that what happened? Did you get an early brief? Or was it something else?
Okay, how about you? Go ahead, please.
You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to. You used to call New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job, and we'll help him do a great job. You know, he may have different views, but in many ways, you know, we were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea, because he was strong on not getting ripped off in trade and lots of the things that I've practiced and been very successful on, tariffs, a lot of things. Bernie Sanders and I agreed on much more than people thought, and when he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. And, you know, it just turned out to be a statistical truth. But, no, I feel very comfortable. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting.
That was it. That's good for me. It makes as much sense as anything else. I mean, really, how many times have you seen somebody crash out the second they post somebody new? Huh? You see the way he was looking in the meetings? I've seen people get arrested for way less than that. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. It's Thanksgiving time, so you know what that means.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb,
Tomatoes, turkeys. It's going to be a little bit less this year, probably. You know, Trump 47. So it's going to be a diet Thanksgiving. But it also means I'll be doing my Thanksgiving video showcasing all the things that we have to be grateful for, and I would love your participation. So check out the community tab and give me your suggestions. It could be anything you're thankful for. I'm thankful they finally will release the Epstein files. I'm thankful Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend got to sleep with one eye open. I'm thankful that no matter how much negative feedback she gets, Laura Trump just keeps singing.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down.
And of course, I'm thankful to all of you. So many of you guys have hit me up at admin@reeswaters.com, including my man TP all the way from Germany. Shout out to all my German Americans out there. Let's see, we got, Bruce Willis was born in West Germany.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
Sandra Bullock, whose mother was a German opera singer, and Michael Fassbender. We won't talk about where my mind goes with Michael Fassbender. Ain't no Dominique Wilkins? They're not going to talk about Neek, the human highlight film? Oh, he was born in Paris. He should get credit for that. Some of that Jerry curl dripped in Germany. I know it did. TP writes, Miss Ray, good morning. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I most certainly did. Bama won, and after nearly a year, I finally got some merch. I got a beanie hat, a Who Raised Y'all coffee mug, and an I'm Troubled t-shirt. I'm providing a photo of all the items, and the beanie really keeps your head warm. I would also say the Who Raised Y'all mug also keeps your head warm, because I only break it out when I'm hot. You know, when I'm mad at people, I'm hot, I showcase it and make sure that it's facing whose parenting I'm questioning. But shout out to TP for submitting those and for being such an integral part of this community. Be on the lookout for our Black Friday sale and make sure you order by December 10th in order to get your items by Christmas. Now, a lot of you guys have also talked about the fact that the items aren't on the YouTube page anymore. And believe me, a book will be written all about what we've had to deal with on the back end trying to get those things showcased. But they're still available over at thepeoplesgetup.com. Again, that is thepeoplesgetup.com, as well as reeswaters.com. And while you're at it, be sure to send me your merch pics to admin@reeswaters.com. And while you're at it, I could use a good plug for vests. Now in my fourth decade, I feel the sudden need for vests. I could also get a good Stetson hat, and probably this time next year, a cane. That's how I see Thanksgiving 2026. Oh, I'm gonna be strutting come election next year.
Down from the bar, there's a platform stage.